Welcome to the Secrets of College Planning. I'm your host, Anthony Uva, and we are here at the NCAA conference in Phoenix, Arizona. My guest today is Grace Hadlich. She is from the College of St. Scholastica in Minnesota.
Yep,
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So usually I start my guests where they went to school. So where'd you go to college?
Yeah, so I currently am a senior right now, entering my last semester of my undergrad at the College of St. Scholastica in Duluth, Minnesota, land of the 10,000 lakes.
Right. So let's go back in time before we get into what you're actually doing. Let's go into high school. When did you start thinking about going to college? Was it freshman year of high school, senior year of high school? When did it all begin for you?
Yeah, definitely. And as a student athlete, I started early looking into college. So I'd say my freshman year, I started exploring kind of maybe the division I wanted to go into, maybe career opportunities, what I was good at, what maybe would fit my personality. And then really honed in, started going on tours, connecting with coaches the summer of my sophomore year.
So did mom and dad get involved? Were they heavily involved, or was it just you?
No, mom and dad were really involved, really hands-on, but let me make my own decision. So very supportive, always showed up, always had questions, but kind of let me lead my own path. You know, it wasn't a path led by them, and really supported anything that I wanted to do and where I wanted to go.
So now, when did you start saying, okay, I can go somewhere? Did you have a lot of schools recruiting you, or was it just this one?
Yeah, no, a lot of schools. I played competitive summer ball in Minnesota, which is growing community, and a lot of coaches reaching out, a lot of connections, and so I toured a bunch of Division II and Division III schools, but I was very focused on academics, you know, because at some point my career will end, my athletic career will end, and I want a great career, you know what I mean? I want to be successful in my job and the opportunities that it brings, and so I was leaning towards a Division III school so I can be heavily focused on academics while still living out my collegiate career.
Right. So now you get to school. What's it like?
It's amazing. So it's in Duluth, Minnesota, which is probably 3 hours to the border of Canada. Beautiful North Shore with a bunch of different lakes and trees. But my school, pretty small, 3,500 undergrads, and amazing science programs, ranked nationally in nursing and the exercise physiology programs, and then has a great graduate program, which kind of led me to that school because I knew coming out of high school that I wanted to be in a grad school, get a master's in occupational therapy or physical therapy.
Wow. So you got a big future ahead.
Yeah, and I recently just got into grad school for occupational therapy.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So now you went to school for softball as well as occupational therapy?
Yes.
Okay. So give me a sense of softball. What's it like at the school? What's your practices like? What's game? When do you get started as a freshman? Same thing, you know, is it August when you start, September? When does it all begin for you when you come in as a freshman?
Yeah, so softball is kind of cool. So you get both semesters, but you do get an off season. So we do have a fall season, which we call fall ball, and then recently just passed that we can have 1 day of competition, either inside the conference or outside the conference. And so we have 5 weeks of training. Where we just work a lot of fundamentals, get our freshmen equipped to what we're doing, what the program is, how we run things, and do a lot of inter squad scrimmages, get in the weight room, load them up, make sure they know everything that's going on, make sure important of how good going to class is going to be, time management, you know. So our first semester is really informational and for our freshmen, and having them learn the ropes of what it means to be an athlete at the Division III level, but also the standards we set on our softball team. And then probably mid-October and through our winter break, so mid-January is our off season where it's training on your own. And then we start up in January, have 3 or 4 weeks of preseason. Then we play in domes with turf for a couple weeks.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, we play in domes with turf for a couple weeks. kind of frustrating hitting a ball to the ceiling, though. You know, it's an outdoor sport. And then we go down south for training for spring break, and then we get back and hopefully, with the snow and the weather, start playing conference games the beginning of April.
And then games end at May, June,
Yeah, May,
July?
first week in May. Kind of depends. A lot of weather delays, so it can get pushed out, but our conference tournament usually starts the second weekend in May.
Okay, and then if you get to the NCAA tournament, what happens? What months are they?
Oh, so June, end of May and June. So you go through regionals, super regionals, and then you would go to the NCAA.
Division III
Championships.
Gotcha. Now, once you're in it for a year or 2 years, you're in your last year now, right? What's the difference between that first year and now as a senior? What's your take on the team and what you've done there?
Oh, it's been crazy. And we actually went through a conference change too. So and coaching change. So I've had a great experience and a lot of adversity. But it's been nothing short of a miracle. Like it is so amazing. My perception of college athletics has completely changed from freshman year until now. And just how much work it is, truthfully, how much work it is and how rewarding that work is. And how much school and being at the Division III level, being able to manage, having an internship and being an athlete and really honing in and focusing on school. And you could even be in part of extracurriculars. And, you know, just the balance that you can have at the Division III level, I didn't know was possible. And now as a senior looking back on it, I was naive thinking it would be a breeze. You know what I mean?
So now you're at the NCAA conference in Phoenix. What are you actually doing here?
Yeah, so I'm here with Division III National SAC, and I've been a part of it since January of last year. I didn't go to convention, but we're here, we're talking, we've been meeting with a bunch of different guests around the NCAA, talking about a lot of legislation and different things the NCAA needs to do and how we can voice our concerns or the things that we need to improve on at the Division III level. And respective to our conferences and, you know, the information we gathered before we came here. Just kind of discuss with like-minded people, bounce ideas off each other, see how other student athletes run their campus SAC and how impactful it is for them. And it's just, yeah, the experience is amazing.
So what do you find as some of the issues that are coming up here at the conference?
Yeah, well, mental health advocacy, obviously. NIL has been a huge topic of conversation. Yeah, those are pretty main two.
Even at a Division III type school?
Yeah, even at a Division III. NIL, it hasn't blown up as much as Division I has, but it still the effects trickle down from the top, obviously, and so it's still a concern. And sharing our experience, NIL can really, having student employment too, could really impact private Division III colleges, because that's where, you know, if players are getting paid to play and it's based on performance, and, you know, there's all these different things that go into it, financially could ruin small colleges, especially at the Division III level. There's so many.
So what is some of the answers that you're getting as to what to do?
Congressional engagement, you know, trying to get, in some way, at the federal level, some regulation to help protect student athletes.
So the government is getting involved.
Yeah.
So now you want to get into your career afterwards. Mm-hmm. So what are some of the steps that students want to do when they get there? What are some of the steps that they have to take to get into the career that they're looking for?
Go to career fairs. Like, take in as much as you want and learn about many different occupations as you can, because knowing what you want to do and when you want to do it can really put you step aside, and you can make your own path for it.
So what do you study as an occupational therapy student at the school? Is it like biology and stuff?
You could do biology, you could do exercise physiology, you could do psychology. You know, there's a bunch of different majors that could fall under it when you apply to grad school.
So is that one of the top schools in doing that in that area?
Yeah, so I think it's top 25 nationally for the graduate program for occupational therapy in the country.
Wow,
yeah.
Fantastic stuff. So tell me a little bit about what you think the future holds for you.
Yeah, I am hoping in some way to keep in a leadership role and try to help make an impact and go to grad school, learn, finally take my license, get my license, and then practice occupational therapy and pediatrics.
Fantastic. Well, great. So my last question usually when I have my guests is what advice do you want to give to the students and the parents that are out there thinking about, coming to school there? What advice do you want to give them?
It's not that serious. Just try to take in as much as you can and gather as much information. You don't need to make a decision right then and there. And you can take it, you can sit on it, you can go and look at other schools, compare and contrast, but you don't have to, the first college you go to, you don't need to commit to go there. You know what I mean? And especially athletics, there's a lot of different things that you can focus on and values and morals and philosophies that are different all across even the state, the country. So just gather as much information as you can and go somewhere that you feel like you would fit. There's a feeling of when you step on campus, it's like, I belong here. And if you're not feeling that, keep pushing and keep looking.
Great. Well, thank you very much for coming on. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Yeah.
So you've been watching The Secrets of College Planning. I'm your host, Anthony Uva. Until next time.